All right, for 21, we have to distribute. Oops. All right, we have to distribute. So I have negative d to the third times d to the fourth. That's going to be d to the seventh. If I have negative d to the third times 5d to the third, that's going to be negative 5d to the sixth. Then I have negative d to the third times negative 8d. That's going to be positive 8. That's a first power there, so it's going to be d to the fourth. And that's all there is to it. We're done. All right, here I'm going to FOIL. So I have 121h squared minus 22hk, hk, and then once again minus 22hk, and then plus 4k squared. So I get 121h squared minus 44hk plus 4k squared. Done. Nothing else we could do with it. Alright, here we're going to FOIL. So I have 49h squared. Then I have minus 77h, just take your time, plus 77h minus 121. So these cancel. I'm left with 49h squared minus 121. Done. Alright, now I'm factoring. This is a quadratic. Okay, and my a value is 1, so I just use the big X method. I've got to find two numbers that add up to 11, multiply to give me negative 26. What two numbers could that be? 2 and 13. And it's going to be negative 2. Alright, so that simply factors into d. D is the variable I'm working with. D minus 2 times d plus 13. Done. Alright, I have an expression of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. In this case, the a value does not equal 1. So I'm going to have to do big X and grouping. Okay, so 20 on top and 3 times negative 7 on the bottom. What two numbers add up to 20, multiply to give me negative 21? It's going to be negative 1 and 21. Okay, so I start off with 3p squared, and I take the middle term and I break it up using these two values. So it's going to be minus 1p plus 21p and then minus 7. Alright, so now I'm going to group. Alright, from the first group I factor out a p. I'm left with 3p minus 1. Out of the second group I factor out a 7 and I'm left with 3p minus 1. Alright, both of these two terms share 3p minus 1 in common, and I'm left with p plus 7. And you know if you did it right by simply foiling, and I'll take you back to what you originally started with. Done. Alright, here it's asking me to solve. It's an equation. I have it equal to 0 here. That's what I want. And it's already in factored form. That's perfect. So now I just set each of the factors equal to 0. 3x is equal to 0. And 8x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay. So now I just divide by 3. X is equal to 0. Here I subtract 1. 8x is equal to negative 1. Divide by 8. And x is equal to negative 1/8. Alright, so x is equal to 0, and it's also equal to negative 1/8. For the next problem I have to solve, this expression here is of the quadratic form. So I'm going to use the big X method to factor. So I get, let's see, 13 on the top, negative 30 on the bottom. What two numbers add up to 13, multiply to give you negative 30? That's going to be negative 2 and 15. So it's going to factor into r minus 2 times r plus 15, and that's equal to 0. So r minus 2 will set equal to 0, and r plus 15 will set equal to 0. So I add 2, r is equal to 2. Done with that one. I'm going to subtract 15. R is equal to negative 15. Done with that one. Alright, here we once again have an expression of the quadratic form. Alright, but the a value does not equal 1. This is a here. It doesn't equal 1, so we're going to have to do big X with grouping. So I have negative 24 on top, and I have 2 times 70 on the bottom. And I just noticed we can make this a bit easier to do by doing this. Let's factor out a 2 first, and then that makes life much easier. So then we don't have to do big X with grouping. Alright, so I'm just going to do big X then. Negative 12 on top and 35 on the bottom. What two numbers add up to negative 12, multiply to give us 35? It's going to be negative 5 and negative 7. So I get 0 is equal to 2 times k minus 5 times k minus 7. Alright, so 2 is equal to 0. That does nothing. K minus 5 is equal to 0. And k minus 7 is equal to 0. Alright, so just add 5. K is equal to 5. Add 7. K is equal to 7. Alright, done. Alright, for the next one, factor. Let's see what's going on here. So just studying this for a moment. Then you'll notice that 81 is a square. A perfect square. And I have c squared. And 25 is a perfect square. Right, as 5 squared. So I could write 9c, that quantity squared, minus 5 squared. And that's a difference of squares. So it factors into 9c plus 5 times 9c minus 5. It doesn't matter what order you put the plus and minus. You can put the minus first and the plus second. It's still the same thing. Alright, done. It's a difference of squares. Alright, then I have k squared minus 6k plus 9. Alright, this is simple. All we're doing here is factoring. This is very simple to do. Alright, a does not equal 1, so I got to find two numbers that add up to negative 6, multiply to give me 9. So I get negative 3 and negative 3. So I end up with k minus 3 times k minus 3. And that's it. We just factored it. And actually, if you want to condense your answer, it's k minus 3 squared. Done.